Many people are wondering what chapter of Revelation are we in today? Actually, we may be in chapter 3, but more importantly, significant events from both Isaiah and Ezekiel have yet to be fulfilled. Unfortunately, those events will see the Middle East in devastating turmoil. Here are a few prophecies I would like to discuss. Ezekiel chapter 35 has not occurred. Again, a message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, turn and face Mount Seir and prophesy against its people. Give them this message from the sovereign Lord. I am your enemy, O Mount Seir, and I will raise my fist against you to destroy you completely. I will demolish your cities and make you desolate. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. I will make Mount Seir utterly desolate, killing off all who try to escape and any who return. I will fill your mountains with the dead. Your hills, your valleys, and your ravines will be filled with people slaughtered by the sword. I will make you desolate forever. Your cities will never be rebuilt. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Today, Mount Seir is the country of Jordan. It is not desolate, which leads me to understand this prophecy has not been fulfilled. And when it is fulfilled, it will be devastating. Ezekiel chapter 38 also has not occurred. This is another message that came to me from the Lord. Son of man, turn and face Gog, the land of Magog, the prince who rules over the nations of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Give him this message from the sovereign Lord. Gog, I am your enemy. I will turn you around and put hooks in your jaws to lead you out with your whole army, your horses and charioteers in full armor, and a great horde of army with shields and swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya will join you too, with all their weapons. Gomer and its armies will also join you, along with the armies of Beth Togarmah from the distant north and many others. Get ready, be prepared, keep all the armies around you mobilized, and take command of them. A long time from now, you will be called into action. In the distant future, you will swoop down on the land of Israel, which will be enjoying peace after recovering from war, and after its people have returned from many lands to the mountains of Israel. You and all your allies, a vast and awesome army, will roll down on them like a storm and cover the land like a cloud. This is what the sovereign Lord says. At that time, evil thoughts will come to your mind, and you will devise a wicked scheme. You will say, Israel is an unprotected land filled with unwalled villages. I will march against her and destroy these people who live in such confidence. I will go to those formerly desolate cities that are now filled with people who've returned from exile in many nations. I will capture vast amounts of plunder, for the people are rich with livestock and other possessions now. They think the whole world revolves around them. But Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish will ask, do you really think the armies you have gathered can rob them of silver and gold? Do you think you can drive away their livestock and seize their goods and carry off plunder? Therefore, Son of Man, prophesy against Gog. Give him this message from the sovereign Lord. When my people are living in peace in their land, then you will rouse yourself. You will come from your homeland in the distant north with your vast cavalry and your mighty army, and you will attack my people Israel, covering their land like a cloud. At that time, in the distant future, I will bring you against my land as everyone watches, and my holiness will be displayed by what happens to you, Gog. Then all the nations will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord asks. Are you the one I was talking about long ago when I announced through Israel's prophets that in the future I would bring you against my people? But this is what the sovereign Lord says. When Gog invades the land of Israel, my fury will boil over. In my jealousy and blazing anger, I promise a mighty shaking in the land of Israel on that day. All living things, the fish in the sea, the birds of the sky, the animals of the field, the small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the people on the earth will quake in terror at my presence. Mountains will be thrown down. Cliffs will crumble. Walls will fall to the earth. I will summon the sword against you on all the hills of Israel, says the sovereign Lord. Your men will turn their sword against each other. I will punish you and your armies with disease and bloodshed. I will send torrential rain, hailstones, fire, burning sulfur. In this way, I will show my greatness and holiness, and I will make myself known to all the nations of the world. Then they will know that I am the Lord. Don't confuse this reference of Gog and Magog with the reference of Revelation, Gog and Magog. These are two different prophecies and two different events. This reference of Gog and Magog are nations to the north of Israel, almost like immediate bordering nations that have long-standing malice against Israel. Today, Israel is enjoying peace and prosperity, much like what is described in this prophecy. However, the surrounding nations have not attempted to destroy Israel, but many have intentions of exactly this nature. This prophecy has not occurred. Ezekiel chapter 39. Son of man, prophesy against Gog, and give him this message from the sovereign Lord. I am your enemy, O Gog, ruler of the nations of Meshech and Tubal. I will turn you around and drive you toward the mountains of Israel, bringing you from the distant north. I will knock the bow from your left hand and the arrows from your right hand. I will leave you helpless. You and your army and your allies will all die on the mountains. I will feed you to the vultures and wild animals. You will fall into the open fields, for I have spoken, says the sovereign Lord. And I will rain down fire on Magog and all your allies who live safely on the coasts. Then they will know that I am the Lord. In this way, I will make known my holy name among my people of Israel. I will not let anyone bring shame on it. And the nations too will know that I am the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. That day of judgment will come, says the sovereign Lord. Everything will happen just as I have declared it. Then the people in the towns of Israel will go out and pick up your small and large shields, bows and arrows, javelins and spears, and they will use them for fuel. There will be enough to last them 7 years. They won't need to cut wood from the fields or forests, for these weapons will give them all the fuel they need. They will plunder those who planned to plunder them, and they will rob those who planned to rob them, says the sovereign Lord. This prophecy also has not been fulfilled. Isaiah chapter 17. This message came to me concerning Damascus. Look, the city of Damascus will disappear. It will become a heap of ruins. The towns of Ario will be desolate. Flocks will graze in the streets and lie down undisturbed, with no one to chase them away. The fortified towns of Israel will also be destroyed, and the royal power of Damascus will end. All that remains of Syria will share the fate of Israel's departed glory, declares the Lord of heaven's army. This prophecy has also not occurred. Each of these prophecies that have yet to occur will be devastating to the Middle East. Currently, we are seeing, in my opinion, the stage being set for these prophecies to be fulfilled. Yes, Revelation has significant depictions of devastation as well, but in my opinion, we aren't in the time of the golden bowls of wrath being poured out upon the earth. We are, in my opinion, in this time of Ezekiel and Isaiah as the Middle East continues to unravel right before our eyes. When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day. In those days, the people enjoyed banquets and parties and weddings right up to the time Noah entered his boat, and the flood came and destroyed them all. You know what's so interesting about the boat Noah and his family were saved by? The door of that boat stayed open for 7 days. The Bible says God closed the door. But during those 7 days, no one came to ask Noah, hey, can we get on this boat with you too? The boat is salvation, and the door remaining open is grace. Today, we are living in the time of grace. Access to God is open. Salvation is available. All anyone needs to do is just ask. Hey God, will you save me? And God will hear from heaven, and He will answer that prayer, and He will save you. If you haven't given your eternal life to Jesus, why not? And what are you waiting for? Obviously, He is coming soon. Very soon. I had a wonderful birthday, and thank you sincerely to everyone who sent birthday gifts and greetings. The Mission Roma fundraiser exceeded my expectation of €1,000, and I'm very grateful and greatly humbled. Thank you sincerely. Now check out a clip from my birthday party.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Everybody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Everybody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Everybody move like it's your birthday.
Even throughout the summer months, we have continued to serve the needs of families here in Rome. A few weeks ago, we held a food drive outside of a local grocery store. One father with his 2 sons were just stopping in to quickly pick up a few things they needed. It wasn't like they were doing weekly grocery shopping. When we gave them the list of possible supplies they could pick up while they were shopping, the dad took the list and the shopping bag we gave him, and he smiled. See, he turned that quick stop at the grocery store into a learning experience for his sons. When they left the store, the 2 boys were carrying the bag we had provided. one boy on each side of the bag. It was that heavy and that full. They were so very happy to help families in need. And then I looked, and in the dad's hand were the two things they really went to the store to buy that day. But with a big smile on his face, he was able to teach his sons about compassion and generosity. Thank you for your prayers as we continue to provide for the needs of so many families here in Rome. Now check out some scenes from the most recent food distribution. Perché Dio, Gesù Cristo ha detto 2000 anni fa, ha tanto amato il mondo che ha dato il suo unigenito figlio affinché chiunque crede in lui non perisca ma abbia vita eterna.
Amen.
La vita eterna è una cosa vera, reale, e tutti quanti di noi sappiamo bene. Sarà un'altra vita, questa vita da 20 anni, 30 anni, 60 anni, 100 anni. È un passaggio, ma non è la vita eterna. In questa vita abbiamo tante scelte di fare. La scelta più importante è credere in Dio e ricevere questo amato, questo amare del Signore, perché Lui ha amato il mondo così tanto, ha dato suo unigenito figlio per un motivo, per salvare la salvezza, l'eterna, per tutti di noi. I'm praying to return to the U.S. in November through mid-December. Please pray with me that God would clearly show us His will and open each door as well as provide for each need. Or that He would clearly close the doors and make His will known for His purpose in the next season of ministry for Mission Roma. An average cost for furlough in the U.S. has been about $1,500. Now check out some shots from furloughs in the past. All of us have a testimony, and our testimonies together will overcome sin. Today, I will be sharing my testimony, not because it's such a great story. It's unique because it's my experience with God. But the mystery of the exchange of His righteousness for our sin, that is what truly is the great story. There are three very convenient ways to support the work God is doing through Mission Roma here in Rome. Thank you for your prayers. Number one, online at missionroma.com. Number two, from your bank with QuickPay with Zelle. Just use the email address missionroma@live.com. And number three, by mail at the address on your screen. God bless you.